How can you stand it? Look at that. This, ladies and gentlemen, Rosemary Focaccia Bread, personal favorite. Cannot wait to share this with you, and you see how good it turned out, so come on along for the ride. All right, listen, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. Go down there, hit the subscribe button, and then hit the bell so you're notified every time there's a new video. All right, let's get in there and let's make this focaccia bread, because you already see it came out good. All right, let's make some focaccia bread. I'm so excited. I think that's why I wore the blessed t-shirt. All right, first thing we're gonna do is get our yeast going, okay? Now, we're using dry active yeast, which means it's a sleep yeast, okay? It's taking a nice nap, right? So I'm gonna check in here and get my water to a nice temperature. It should be between 105 and 115 degrees, okay? Let me see what we got here. This is about 107. That's what I would like, because I want to kind of get it nice and right in the middle. All right. Now, because we're trying to get this yeast going, and you've been asleep for a minute, let me scoot this over. We're going to feed him, right? When you wake up, you want to eat, okay? So I'm going to give him a little honey. Sugar is how we feed yeast, okay? And in this recipe, we're feeding it with honey. Okay, so that's going to help this yeast wake up. And remember, if the water is too cold, the yeast, it ain't gonna wake up. If it's too hot, the yeast say, ah, ah! We don't need that, okay? So we're going to be gentle and nice to the yeast, and we're going to give it a little bit of food and let it get where it's supposed to be, okay? You want to set it aside and give it about 5 to 7 minutes to do what it needs to do. It should start to get puffy and a little foamy like, and it should start to smell like bread. Y'all know what I mean? Okay, good. All right, now here I've got 5 cups of bread flour. It's important that you use bread flour because of the amount of protein in bread flour is very important for making sure that your bread has structure to it, okay? All right, I'm gonna put just about a teaspoon or 2 of salt, because you don't want your bread to be boring. Who wants boring bread, right? Okay. And then we're gonna whisk this together, and we're just gonna wait for our yeast to finish waking up till it's time to join the party. Okay, well, I have let this yeast wake up for about 7-8 minutes. Well, that's not true, 5 minutes. And I hope you can see this. I tried to make sure I used a clear measuring cup. It is nice and cloudy, and look on the top, you see how it's just got the little foam, yeast foam. This is perfect, okay? So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna make just a little well here in my flour. We're gonna pour this yeast mixture into our flour, okay? Now I pour it in usually in stages. I do about half, okay? And then I'll go in and stir, help everything get absorbed, or at least initially, right? See, like that, so I don't have big puddles of water. And then I go back and add in the rest, okay? And make sure you wanna get all of this goodness out, okay? Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna give this a stir. You don't have to do a lot of kneading with this, okay? And the reason we don't is because this bread is gonna have structure to it, because we have a nice protein, high protein content flour, bread flour that is. But you just need to really get it together. All I'm gonna do is just stir this until all of the water is absorbed by the flour, okay? The liquid. See, liquid is absorbed. See how I'm just turning it over? And this is gonna be a shaggy dough, okay? This is not gonna be one of those beautiful balls of dough. You know the ones? This isn't that, okay? This is gonna rise and be all sweet and puffy and fluffy. Now, okay, there you go. And this is all you need to do. Now check the bottom to make sure there's no loose flour or anything. Good, everybody's covered. Now what we're gonna do is take this bowl, a separate bowl, and you're gonna add about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, okay? Now I'm just eyeballing it because I just know that fundamentally I need a lot of olive oil, okay? All right, just like that. Gotta make sure you brush the sides, okay? And then you're gonna take this ooey gooey shaggy dough. Let me see, can you see it? Make sure I get a good angle so you guys can see what I'm doing. And you're just literally gonna dump it in there, just like that. And now I'm gonna just make sure that this oil is kind of touching all over the bread here so we don't get a dry crust as it rises. We're gonna cover this up, put it in a warm place with no draft. I usually put mine in the oven. I turn the light on, don't have the oven on, let it rise for about 45 minutes to an hour. It's gonna get nice and big and puffy, and then we'll be ready to go on to the next step. Bye, baby. Good night. I know you just woke up and you're still a little tired, so you're gonna go back to sleep and enjoy your nap. All right, guys, well, our dough has been in the oven. Remember, oven with the light on, no heat. And look at how beautiful this is. This has risen just like we wanted it to. I told you this was a shaggy dough, remember? This is a shaggy mess, isn't it? So we're gonna take a little bit of flour here, okay? I'm gonna sprinkle some on a piece of parchment paper. I could put it directly onto the cutting board, but sometimes I just find this is a little easier. Now you wanna first start by sprinkling a little bit of flour on the top, okay? And you wanna just push it down to deflate. See how I'm doing that? Normally, you could punch it if it was a more sturdy dough, but it's not. So I'm just using my hand, and I'm just basically, see there? That's what I'm doing. Woo, look at that. Yes. Deflating it, getting that extra air out as I go around. So now that I've got it here, I'm gonna go in here and get some flour. And what we're gonna do is start to turn this bread, okay? Now we're not kneading heavy, I just want to turn it. You see how I'm doing that? Okay, I'm just turning it, and I'm turning it all around on itself. I'm kind of forming a ball, but not fully. See, I'm not kneading. Can you see how I'm just turning, folding the bread in? I hope y'all can see that what I'm doing. Let me get a little bit more flour here. Flour. And we're turning it. Now this is the pan that I'm going to cook it in. And this is a pan that's got kind of like springform action. The bottom goes up. I just like this pan. Oh, it makes me happy. There, that's it. So you're gonna go back and put some olive oil around. And then we're gonna put it back in the oven, closed, light on, no heat, okay? For just a little bit, maybe another 30 minutes or so, let it rise again. More rises means better flavor, so this second rise will help us get even more flavor in here. All right, we'll cover it with that, and we'll just throw this one back on it because it's just on the top, it's not doing anything. Okay, and we're gonna put it back in the oven. Now, I have this tray under there because remember when I squirted the oil into the pan? Because it's a pan that pushes up, kind of like a springform pan, the oil can leak out. So make sure you put that on a cooking tray or a baking tray or something so that you don't have loose oil in your oven. All right, let's put this back and let's wait for the next step. Well, our dough had its second little rise, a chance to kind of, get familiar some more. Look at that. Beautiful. It rose some more. That's what it does. It's yeast dough, that's what they do. They rise. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna dimple it. This is the fun part, right? So I did bring a little bit of flour for my fingers, and I don't like dimpling with just straight fingers. I like to do it like this. I have a glove on. Oh, this part is like, I don't know, you feel like a kid when you're dimpling dough, So you just get some good dimples in there. You don't have to worry about going crazy. But just get some in there so it feels like focaccia bread, okay? And then on top, we're going to olive oil. Now, we're making this rosemary because I love rosemary. You can use any herb you want. This is fresh rosemary. Pulled it off the little stem thing and chopped it up, okay? Let's put that on the top here. Oh, it's important that you put salt on there so you can taste it. And I'm using these nice big sea salt flakes. I want you to see this. These are huge, okay? And this is a good thing. Look how big they are. Let me see if I can get a good close-up for you of how big these are. Can you see how big those are? Yeah, they're huge. So what I do is just push them up just a little bit because as big as they are, even as you crush them, they're still gonna stay big, okay? And you want to generously sprinkle. Careful not to make it salty, okay? And I'm gonna tell you something about making it salty. When you go around and put on the salt like I just did, you can still see a lot of the salt flakes, but you can't see them all. And so what ends up happening is you look at it, it's happened to me before, experience is talking, and it looks like there's not enough salt on there, and then you add more, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, it's a lot soft. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm gonna top one more time with some more olive oil. We're gonna put this in a 450-degree oven. 450 for about 20-30 minutes until it's nice and golden brown on the top. All right, y'all, this is what dreams are made of. Look at this. Let me get it close. Look. Keep it on this little baking pan too, that oil thing. All right, in the oven. All right, guys, our bread was in the oven for 25 minutes. Look at this. I'm gonna try to hold this just right. Do you see how beautiful that is? I've let it cool for about 10 minutes or so, and I'm gonna pop it out, okay? Still got my hot gloves on because it's still hot. And I'm trying to pop it out without burning myself. Look at that. Look at that, family. Oh my God, that looks delicious. You know, that's the kind of thing right there. Woo! All right, y'all, let me see. Can I sneak a piece? I want to so bad. But let me tell you the problem. I gotta take pictures. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll take pictures. I wore my t-shirt because cooking, baking bread is a task, right? Now, let's get into this. I got my pictures. Oh man, it's still smoking, so I can't wait for it to settle more. But this is, I'm tasting it, whatever. I'm eating it. Man, I want to taste the top, but listen, I gotta hide this from my kids, especially my daughter. She will try to eat this by herself, and that's my job. Ooh, that's good. Thank y'all for being with me today. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, it's not too late. Hit the button and hit the bell so you're notified every time there's a new video. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time right here in the Love Lab for more calibama cooking with Chef Lorious. That's me. Happy cooking.